nobody with Pioneer is going to give up, and nobody's going to fold up their tent and say, it's hopeless, I've had enough. They keep working, and even the failures, if we can recognize them, are still subject to rehabilitation and are still subject to salvation.
The company doesn't look at them as a prisoner. They look at them as a human being that needs help.
You treat people like human beings, and maybe they'll start acting like human beings.
Everybody has some good in them, and if you can bring it out, everybody's better off for it. And I just thoroughly approve of the way they put people through training so they can go out and get a job and be proud of themselves, get their self-esteem back, and be an asset to the community instead of a drag. And they have to be very proud of that too. So I think that's the key. It's relationships.
If you take a look at the people that started it and the people that have been involved on the board, they've always been dedicated to the mission. The agency's been run like a business, and it's been able to sustain itself.
I had a time when we battled those that said we need more program and less business to this. But I always said, if we don't make money, we can't run the programs. We'll be out there like Jack was at AA meetings begging for money. I don't want to do that.
When I first got there, there were some serious problems. There was a alcohol drug rehabilitation center that Pioneer was attempting to run down in the South End. It just wasn't making it, and we eventually had to make the decision to shut that down. And that was a good agency. It just wasn't profitable. As you probably know, Pioneer kind of makes its own way, so we can't run something at a big loss like that.
It's one thing to do good if somebody's paying you to do good. It's another thing to develop the resources to be able to do the good and to generate from that experience the money to keep on keeping on.
We kind of branched out one time about a printing company, and it was a disaster. We discovered after we bought it that there were not entry-level jobs in that business. You had to have some real background, so it was not something that we had put a lot of clients in. And we had the hotel downtown, which became a real liability. I was on the committee to go down and look at that, and my first couple of times through that hotel, I was just, what are we doing?
Being a stodgy banker, you know, just the idea of Pioneer owning a hotel just didn't seem to fit. And one of the things I remember about it was there was a bar in the St. Regis Hotel, you know, and it was going to be an alcohol, drug-free hotel. And yet it had a bar down in the lobby, which they did keep open, you know, because the bar paid rent and so forth. And it just didn't fit to me.
I think that we then changed, and our whole mantra was stay with our core values. Stay with things we understand. At that time, we did understand restaurants and the catering and the sheet metal shop and some of the other things we were doing. So we said we just can't go far afield anymore. And we have pretty much stuck to that.
I've always been involved on the financial side, and the whole time I've been there, we've always been financially viable.
At least in the last 10 years, we've gotten very professional in what we do. And the Ford Foundation gave us $325,000 many, many years ago to do an outcomes. So we were able then to set up a whole department within Pioneer and track our outcomes. So we knew whether we were helping or not. And a lot of times a year or two later, we'd track these people, and so we knew what we were doing. And so therefore we'd go back and say, okay, what we did was right, and what we're doing is right. So that's something that just simply takes money to figure those things out.
For us, nonprofit means we make money. We're very serious. We want to be as efficient as any other company. But when we make money, we take the money and put it back into the program, helping people. And we self-finance almost all of our capital. And we've had help, some wonderful help from Boeing and from many other organizations. And some of those have been rather substantial. But when you're thinking about an organization that's $50 or $60 million a year organization, most of that has been earned. And we've always taken pride in that.